Dr. Marty Goldstein is on the line with us. He's an integrative veterinarian specializing in both traditional and alternative medicine for dogs and cats and whatnot. He's the creator of Nature's Blend, which is a product that advertises on this program. I need to disclose that. Both the law and my own sense of integrity require that. Louise and I use Nature's Blend, his dog food, for our pets, and they just love it. But that will be pretty much the extent of the discussion of that in this conversation, because I want to talk about, other things, with regard to animals. He's also the author of a couple of books, The Nature of Animal Healing, the definitive holistic medicine guide for caring for your dog and cat, and his latest book, The Spirit of Animal Healing. His website is drmarty.com, drmarty.com. And his Twitter handle is official Dr. Marty, official Dr. Marty. Dr. Marty, welcome to the program.
It's always great being here, Tom. I love being here.
Thank you so much. So I have some questions. These are just mine, and one of these days we've got to get you on and take calls from our listeners, because we've got a lot of listeners, and I think that there's a lot of these kind of questions around. But our dogs, they get great food. I mean, they use your dog food, Blue and Chewy do, but and from time to time we feed them sweet potatoes and carrots and things. But our Blue, who is an Australian Shepherd, has always had GERD. He is a high anxiety dog. He is so high strung. In fact, he almost died from GERD when we moved from DC to Portland. He just couldn't handle the change in environment. We've given Pepsid, and that seems to make a big difference. That was on the advice of our veterinarian. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I've seen every chronic degenerative illness at least double, triple, or quadruple since I graduated Cornell Vet School in 1973. So, to me, I kind of lump them all the same, because unfortunately, there was not a lot of healthcare taught when I went to Cornell. And I don't think it's changed much. And I love the profession of veterinary medicine. I love how technologically advanced we've become. But diseases of all sorts keep on going on the rise. So there's things we're doing wrong when it comes to health care. GERD, gastroesophageal reflux, it's more or less heartburn to an advanced stage. Behavior does add to it, just like people that tend to be very high-strung or nervous tend to have more ulcers and things like that. Pepsid is a good one. There are supplements that contain N-acetylglucosamine, which help to more naturally coat the stomach and help repair the lining of the stomach wall, which we know is loaded with acid. And there are homeopathic remedies like Nux vomica. That homeopathy doesn't really care what the diagnosis is. It helps the body heal, because the only mechanism that does heal in the body is the immune system, not so much the drug. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, that's it's a great start. Do you think it's okay for dogs to get CBD?
Oh, absolutely.
We had thought about that. What are your thoughts on that? What kind of dosage are there dog CBD supplements out there, or
there's tons of dog CBD supplements, and you hit the right word on the head. We keep on looking for higher qualities and different qualities, but I work with one of the experts, Dr. Rob Silver, in CBD. He was actually lecturing at the Cornell Vet School on CBD. And as important as the quality of the CBD is the correct dosing. And, there's dosing for different kind of things. There's dosing for the immune system. There's dosing for behavior. There's dosing for epilepsy. So that's where I always recommend anyone out there that's interested in doing integrative or alternative therapies with their dogs or cats, it's best to consult a veterinarian well-seasoned in integrative medicine. And the best website to find a veterinarian anywhere in the country is ahvma.org, American Holistic Veterinary Medical Association. And always work with a veterinarian. Don't necessarily just work with Dr. Google.
Yeah, Dr. Google. Dr. Google can get you in a lot of trouble, or your dog in this case, or your cat.
I've seen it thousands of times.
Yeah. And now another question is cancer in dogs. I've read that doggy cancer is increasing. I'm assuming it probably has something to do with the same reasons why human cancers are increasing. Environmental stressors, microplastics, crappy diets, and all those kind of things. We had a friend whose dog had a leg amputated. It was a weird kind of, he had bone cancer and had to learn how to walk on 3 legs. What can we do about that? I mean, how do people filter their water, for example, for themselves, to try to avoid poisons and toxins and things. How are dogs? Is their vulnerability to cancer different than humans, or is it the same? And
I think it's a little bit worse. And welcome to my life, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, this to me is it, because when I graduated Cornell, approximately 1 in 10 dogs got cancer. It was always a disease of the old. Now it's approximately 1 out of every 1.61 dogs get cancer. And I quoted in my last book, which came out in 2021, I quoted a very pronounced study that actually showed 1 out of every 1.61 dogs in the United States get cancer. And it's a prominent disease of the young now, too. We were seeing, before I retired from one-on-one clinical practice, I was seeing 5 new cases of cancer a day. That's how crazy it is. And, the average age was below 5. So cancer is a disease of an immune deficiency. It's not something that attacks the body. So removing it surgically and getting wide margins is not the answer to cancer. Literally, health is the answer to cancer. And we have to look at the things that compromise the immune system and compromise health. Grain-based dog foods. There was an amazing veterinarian that came out of Colorado State, Dr. Greg Ogilvie, who is the head of internal medicine and cancer therapy and research at Colorado State. And he demonstrated that the byproducts, or what are called the metabolites of cereal in a dog's body, which is glucose and lactate, supply the growth to cancer cells. And there's so many of the foods that are on the market that are 50, 54, 60% cereal byproducts as the main ingredients. So, we have to look at things like that. Cancer doesn't just happen. It's not bad luck. If more than 1 out of 2 dogs in the United States are now getting cancer, we need a wake-up call. And, we need a wake-up call on health. That's why I developed biologically appropriate diet, not scientifically appropriate diet.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the teeth of a cow, which is an animal that is, that evolution prepared to eat grains, grasses, their teeth are very different than the teeth of a dog. It just makes sense that they shouldn't be eating grains. When was the last time you saw a dog in the wild go out and start, looking for wheat to eat? How about allergies? How about allergies? Go ahead.
Well, allergy is the same. I would say in my clinical practice, maybe up to 85% of all dogs had some form of allergy. And there's 2 facets for that are very important. I am not an anti-vaxxer, but there is a condition called the allergic breakthrough phenomena in the human field that was transposed also into the animal field, where vaccines instigate an immune reaction inside the body, where the body starts attacking or going against its own cells, leading to the most common form of allergy called atopic dermatitis or atopy. And unfortunately, I think the accepted standard protocols for vaccines has been way overdone in veterinary medicine. Tom, when was your last polio shot?
I don't recall. It was when I was a child, I think.
Right. But for most of my career, we were calling dogs and cats in every single year based on a calendar for all their puppyhood and kittenhood vaccines.
Right.
The dose is the same for the Great Dane as it is for the Chihuahua, which makes no sense.
Right.
And there's so much scientific evidence that vaccines, the immunity from vaccines given standardly up to 1 year of age, last a lifetime, just like with us. They're university-based studies. So, like I said, I'm not an anti-vaccine person, but there is a link between vaccines and this allergic breakthrough phenomena. And then the other thing is called AGEs, or advanced glycation end products. And these are the things that stimulate the inflammatory and allergy reactions in the body. You can look it up online. And the AGEs are formed in food from heating and cooking. And so many of the commercialized pet foods have been heated through what's called the extrusion process. And that is adding to all the allergies we're seeing. It's not so much that they're allergic to either chicken or beef, but they're allergic to the AGEs that are formed in food from cooking at high temperatures, the chicken and the beef.
Fascinating. So get your dogs vaccinated, but they may not need every vaccine every year. Is that the message?
Well, we do have scientifically a test now called a titer, TITER, that actually tests the immune system to see if it has immune components against distemper, parvo, even rabies. We're legally mandated to give rabies every 3 years to dogs and cats. And there was a study in France where it showed that the minimum duration of protection when challenged by live rabies virus to the rabies vaccine is 8 years. And that study was replicated in the United States. It's called the Rabies Challenge Fund. It demonstrated beyond the shadow of a doubt when dogs were exposed to live rabies virus that the minimum duration of protection was 5 years. The only reason the study didn't go 8 years is that the USDA ran out of live rabies virus to challenge the dog's immune system.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
So I'm just trying to apply proper science to the field of vaccines.
No, I totally get it. And I get it that you're not an anti-vaxxer at all. Dr. Marty Goldstein, the integrative veterinarian, his books, The Nature of Animal Healing, the Definitive Holistic Medicine Guide for Caring for Your Dog and Cat, and his latest, The Spirit of Animal Healing, drmarty.com, drmarty.com.